to master it sufficiently to match a master in the field. In multiple fields, I needed a minimum of 7. I had to be a master of 7, but I mastered 10. And the 10 I mastered is the same things they was using to oppress us: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. When you understand what methods of oppression is being used, then you understand what you have to do to get free. All you have to do to get free. Hey, Christina. Y'all see Christina Vargas 8330? She the fucking truth. Get some of the morals from her. She a powerful motherfucker. And that's one of the ones on our team that's been working with me for the longest on this shit here. We was over on Facebook putting in work till we done made Facebook now got us where people can't even hardly get on our pages to get information because Facebook is redirecting the traffic to our pages to other motherfuckers. You know. So they asked me about Larry's history and him being crowned king, and I'm referred as a reference to Don Dirk is the law writer in the current speaking grid for the Blue Lodge Black Gangster Disciple Nation. He got a video with Vlad on Vlad TV where he's telling you about the crowning of King David, for those who want to know. He also talks about other topics too that I've also been asked about, and he is the person that I'm responsible to direct you to at this time, and if he make any mistakes, Larry's going to correct them later. But Don Dirk right now is the person that when y'all ask me how about the crowning of Hoover and all, I'm supposed to send you the dirt. He is the one whose job that is, not mine. Right? So go back to the beginning for those who came closer to the end of this video, because this is a very important piece of information. Dr. York, who was one of the guys who picked me too, and Dr. York also agreed and picked Larry Hoover. Dr. York is an elder, a star elder. He's not an earth elder. He's a star seed. He's not from here. Dr. York might not even choose to stay here with these rotten motherfuckers after they was too dumb to see that there's no possible way you can give all of the molested kids the same strain of genetically identifiable herpes and you don't got it before, during, nor after the crime. Our people that dumb. When you read the paperwork and you see what's being presented, they accused him of molesting kids. Then they turned around and said, not only is he molesting these kids, he gave them all this herpes, and it's the same strain of herpes that all of these kids got. But every year, Malachi get an STD check from his doctor. It's on record, been on record since the 70s. Every year. Now, the only year that he didn't get a medical exam from his doctor, an STD scan, was when he was locked up, which they done one when he was locked up, right? So while he was locked up, he never came back positive for herpes. But that's a critical piece of the evidence that what they call it in law, it's called critical key evidence is called shit, I can't even think of it right now. Because I wasn't intending to go on a Dr. York thing because we right now trying to focus on Larry. Dr. York walked the yard with Larry and he spoke to Larry personally and supported him, he gave me the message through Larry that he's backing Larry. Right? So Dr. Malachi backing Larry. For all the New Wabians that want to know, Dr. Malachi Z. York is pushing Larry to the forefront, just like I am, because they took the Galactic Starseed family told him the same thing they told me. We done talking to you. We want the leader. This motherfucker over here. So they're not talking to me. They ain't talking to motherfucking Dr. York right now. They only want to see Larry. That's all they give a fuck about. Everything else we doing right now is only to get the people to focus their attention on one leader. Farrakhan's aware of it. Trump's aware of it. The entire motherfucking Joint Chiefs of Staff is aware of this. They the ones who operate the blue beam. The Joint Chiefs of Staff have to give a united motherfucking agreement to flick the blue beam, which say, yes, Blue Lodge won. Blue Lodge won. Shoot the pillar. The blue beam is the blue pillar. Now, when they get ready, when they give enough people, the red beam is following. The red beam follows because you need two. You need a witness. And that's Chief Malik Angel Bay is the witness that Larry Hoover decided he wanted at his left hand. Stan Tukey Williams is the leader that he decided for the people on the West Coast that he wanted on his right hand. Right? I didn't pick them for him. They picked me the same way he did as to be the most capable of figuring the solution out. I've been picked by Vice Lords, by Stones, by Bloods, by Crips, by Latin Kings, Latin Count, Maniac Disciples, Satin Disciples, Black Souls, 5% Nation. All of them motherfuckers picked me to take the test because I was the last motherfucker left. There was nobody else left that would try to face these motherfuckers, and I don't quit, and I don't back down, and I don't lose. Yes, it's a literal blue beam. You can go back. It's on YouTube. For those who don't think I know what I'm talking about or might not be sure or might not understand, whatever the situation, if you want to see the blue beam, all you got to do is put blue beam out of the Pentagon, 9/11 or 9/10, one of them days, I think it was 9/11, and they're going to show it. When they shoot the blue beam up in the sky, it's going to be big ass, like a big ass pole of blue light. It's literally a blue beam. And the blue beam can only be set off by a unanimous agreement by the entire Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they all agreed to produce Larry to free the people of the land from the contract that was the corporation known as the United States. Right? The mothership is fucking huge. That motherfucker is huge. It's so huge that it's intimidating to me to see it in the spiritual vision. It's the energy is that great, and it's that motherfucking awestruck. It's like I can't even explain it to y'all where it even makes sense. But when I look and they back there, just the fact that I know they there, this shit energy is so fucking potent. This shit just like make chills go through your whole body. Make motherfuckers like, what the fuck? That shit is fucking huge. And it's got the juice. Like the juice. You can feel that shit if you spiritually in tune, and it's over fucking whelming. None of y'all don't want this shit that I had to go through to get us to this point. Y'all don't want to go through this shit. Trust me, if you can avoid it, you don't want to go through it. Nobody shouldn't have to at this point, but this was some hard shit to accept. The hardest thing for motherfucker to accept always gonna be the truth. The blue beam was their agreement to release Larry Hoover. It's conditional on the people. Has nothing to do with them anymore. It's us. It's the indigenous people of the land holding first right to the earth right with the right birthright that they waiting on to say, break the sky, clean it up. You know, break the sky. I called them. Now they need me to produce a leader. I got to produce a leader. My leader is Larry Hoover. He's my tribal chairman of the board of the Black Gangster Disciple Nations. And even if we don't like Larry, we ain't going against that shit. Nobody in blue, anywhere on the land, is going against that. We got the Red Lodge is 100% behind Chief Malik Angel Bay. Nobody in the Red Lodge is disputing that man, and that's Larry Left Hand Man. That's all it is to it. It's not like I'm like I don't really understand why it's hard for people to grasp that this shit can't go on like this forever. These motherfuckers can't continue to rape our babies and drink their blood and use them for sex toys and use them for poker chips and poker games and all this shit. We feeding babies to the beast and never feel remorse. So we have to, sisters, dance. Tell Mother Earth you dancing for her to get rid of the enemy and just dance. That's all I can tell y'all. Dance. Brothers, wherever you see one of them sisters trying to help, back her play. This they shit, not ours. They was here before us. They gonna be here when we gone if they choose to let us leave. Or they can choose to let us stay, meaning men, male genders. They don't need us to make babies, as they told you, and that's some bullshit. Yep, Nip's still alive. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit and see if I got anybody got a question. I've seen a couple and answered them in the process as they popped up. Yeah, Nip, Easy E, them Tukey boys, they eternal now. As Mo Preem would say, them niggas on the legendary path. They doing some legendary shit. Right. Nipsey's here, he's visiting his extended family in Eritrea. He don't have to be over there because they can't fuck with him on Pac's territory. So Lil Rah is currently in Eritrea visiting his extended family, receiving his honors. As we going through this part to produce Larry, in Eritrea, they are giving him whatever his title is over there. That I don't even study the culture like that because that's that nigga job, not mine. But I know about him, and I know that's where he at, and I know he went on his father's side of the family that he's over there visiting with, and they are the ones that's giving him the juice. Tuki's in Area 51. They sedated him and put him in stasis in a cryo chamber that allows him to be alive but incapacitated until they can pull him forward, the same way as they was able to do out of the tombs of Babylon when they pulled out the kings from there. Right? So this is already recorded that they done this. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama is a clone of Akhenaten. He's a DNA splice off the genetics of Akhenaten. And it's just, he's the direct DNA. When he gets to a certain age, they can make him embody all of who that character of Akhenaten was. And our people going to respond because Akhenaten was one of our greatest pharaohs to ever do this shit. And so the people going to respond to him in the positive way. And that's why they chose his deal. We're looking for what it's called the Cave of the Ancients.
Cave of the Ancients. Right here.
All right. Now in this book, he talks about going into the caves of Tibet, into a secret chamber that had a living computer in the room, in the chamber. That had was programmed to tell him who he was by the resonance of his DNA. Right? And the people that came up on the screen explained the technology and how it works. Now, why am I bringing up Ayurvedic school of thought? Because they have ancient scrolls that predate modern historical record books that has a longer history of the world than what we have available to us from modern scholastics, because they use education as a weapon against us. All right, now, one more reference just to add some flavor to it. Pull up a series. It's called Masters of the Far East. They are
1 through 6.
giving secrets in this book right here. That's the twine to tie all this shit together.
I gotta get this joint.
So this is a collection of about 5 or 6 books. Now, from there, we want to know about genetics, and we want to know about reproduction, right? So these are called the sutras, sutras, in India. Right, you go back to regular screen now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so the one they call great text is called Mahabharata. And it's broke up into multiple different sections. The epic work of the Bhagavad Gita is within the Mahabharata. Right? Now, over there, they got something, scrolls for government, because in the secret caves of Tibet, this is why China was trying to kill off all of the Tibetan priests. They are the keepers of certain sacred records that they ain't gonna never let these motherfuckers know where they at. So they trying to torture them out of the information, because every time they go in the Himalayan mountains and send somebody to get these records, they don't come back. And they keep telling them that you don't really want to know where they at because you ain't gonna come back. But they inside of the caves, and the security of the caves, if a person go in there that haven't been trained to attune their frequency, what end up happening is they suffocate their mitochondria, and it basically shorts them out. So that's why they can't. That's why they don't never come back, because they're not properly trained on the energy balancing that's required in order to enter into the sacred places. Now, it's sacred places all over the world. Some of them you can enter, but you don't think nothing happened, but you won't never know why you can't get your life right. You fucked your whole energy field up. You getting a whole bunch of karma for a whole bunch of motherfuckers that you didn't have nothing to do with. All right, now, so the Yaku story traces biblically to Jacob, and this is confirmed by anybody in the nation. Now, they are a group of people known as Jacobins, and they also call them Jacobins. Yaku writing the name. Right? In early Roman history, they came as a group called Etruscans. Right? And these are the ones who Constantine set as the devil's advocate. It's just judicials. When you ask Africans about the Osiris story from the tribal communities, they call it the holy drama. Right? And they said that it was a court case. Right? So somewhere around the time of the first recorded dynasty, some people came here from Nibiru to expedite the mining of the gold. We are familiar with that as Nuwapians, right? We know they came for the gold. Now, we know of the scientists that accompanied them. We know about Ninursin. We know about Erishkigal and Nergal, right? We know that Enki was a geneticist, and Mother Ninti was also what you call the lead nurse or the great doula. Right? This we already know from our Nuwapian research. When you go into India, there was a scroll that gave them the description of the genome, but it was coded. And they passed it off as a sex manual and call it the Kamasutra.
Oh yeah, it's right. Go ahead.
Now we ain't gonna pull that up because it's gonna show probably some butt-naked people on the cover. But in the Kamasutra, the energy harness of each one of the sex positions tells you what DNA codon is being activated. They use the lewd act of